Hey there, BookTube. Happy Friday Night Live. Nice to see y'all. Bookish Bryant's in the house. Scott and Becky, thank you so much. The Room Note, always rocking. Mark Richardson, very cool. Thank you for coming by, guys. Happy Friday. And what a week. I had a little move in my job. It's a lateral move. It's just another aspect of AT&T construction that I've done before and I've done for quite some time, but I haven't done for 2 years maybe, and I'll be doing again, but it is hard work. Hey, Recognitions Book Club, nice to see you. And Danny Spinelli Speaks, rocking. What a great time I had last night, Danny, and a lot of other people too. Oh my God, I'm glad you're digging it, Mark. I'm really glad you're digging it. So I'm going to start with this action. And if I like to have the comments pop up because there's a lot of people that watch the live between now and when it processes. Hey, Scott Danielson in the house. So before it actually processes, the live chat is not available, but they can watch it because they just kind of click on the notification if they're subbed and they watch it, So if I put things on the screen like this, then it'll work that they can also see some of the chat. Hey, Lukash is in the house. Very cool. Very, very cool, brother. Man, I have been watching a bit of Bits of Lit. It's Lucas at Bits of Lit. He's loving some Octavia Butler this week, maybe over the past week, and really turned me on to some stuff. He's been reading short stories by her, and man, she just seems like a really great storyteller, and definitely someone that I have not checked out. So very cool that you picked up that A Parable of the Sower, Lukash. And hey, Toria, nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. And I can't wait to get into some Octavia E. Butler because I love sci-fi, and I can't wait to get a new author that everybody raves about her stuff. Everybody raves when they read some Octavia E. Butler, whether it be Kindred or Parable of the Sower or a number of short stories now that I've heard. Yeah, Mark. Very cool. So first off for tonight, we got I don't have the studio open anymore, so I can't see how many people are here. Oh, I can. There's 14 people here. That's more than enough to really get into it. Very cool. Hey Yasmin, nice to see you. So we have been I tell you. And yeah, She Was Only Evie. If y'all don't watch She Is Only Evie, that's a great I dig your style. I dig your style. That's a great a channel. Check her out if you're not aware. She's a very small booktuber and somebody that I enjoy watching. So my current reading, well, you see, this week has been a week of lives for me. It's been really, really tough for me actually to do what I've done because lives require me to, have this space, have it quiet, think about what I'm going to do throughout that live. A lot more planning, a lot more time involved in doing a live than doing a video, for example. Or at least in the video, the time spent on planning and stuff like that is just whenever kind of stuff. And then when I film it, I can just go and do it, whenever. But alive, there's schedules and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Becky and Scott, Bookish Bryant's in the house. Really dig it. Yeah, I really do. I really do. She was only Evie. I really do. So so yeah. Um first first off, I did one of the Soul is Not a Smithy, one of the stories out of the Oblivion set. And those are the only two lives that I'm gonna do for Oblivion. Maybe I'll do one more. Maybe two more, but the rest of those might be just solo, exploring the stories of Oblivion, David Foster Wallace. It is great where we've really gotten to, and the kind of reading experience that this was really fun. And we still have the last one to read. I think I'm doing my normal thing with books where I don't want it to be done, so I don't read the final short story, or I don't read the last chapter or two. I put that off. I just kind of stall, and that's just how it goes with me. I don't want things to get to be over. You know what I mean? Especially not good reading, right? But I'm over halfway through The Call of the Toad. This has just been like reading at work, and my new kind of work is not going to afford me time to read. It's not going to afford me time to read while I'm at work. For at least not as much as I have at all. So we'll see how work buddies go. But I've been slow on this because it is a slow read. Uh, the pacing is just this kind of delicate thing. I like it, but it is what it is. But also, I've just been getting into Against the Day, and we're into the second part. It is really really cool, but it still hasn't like ramped up. You know what I mean? Hey, Steve, how you doing, brother? Regardless of what Steve might think or feel, David Foster Wallace is a wonderful author. You know what I mean? And that's just how it goes. So I hope everybody is still here. Let me see. Let me see what I did, because I dropped the mouse real quick. And I closed it out on my PC. So I have to get it back on my PC. I hope everybody is still there. If not, then I'm gonna have to start it over or something like that and do another but that's how sometimes, I guess, right? We'll see. Cool. It doesn't seem like it's I mean, I can't see anything that's going on, so we'll see if y'all can. I will be there back in a second, that's for sure. Cool. Frida dropped the mouse earlier this week. You're funny, Steve. Yeah, as far as everybody's concerned now, you just kind of saw me. You know, mess it up. Yeah, knitting books, etc. You got it just right. That's exactly how I feel about books when it comes down to it. And David Foster Wallace is an amazing writer. Hey Steve, if you wanna get into, like why the experience is fun to read David Foster Wallace, you can go ahead and check out my series on Oblivion, because we had some real fun going through it, that's for sure. Y'all are funny, especially Steve. You kill me. You crack me up, brother. So I've been slower on the reading of Günter Grass and slower on the reading of Thomas Pynchon, because my mind is completely being blown on the daily by Borges. Okay? This is so fun and awesome. Hey baby, Emily Clemens in the chat. Moto Hero, my buddy Jason from Instagram. Recognitions Book Club is from Instagram as well. But Jason is C.S. Miller Books, a really cool guy. He's a really cool guy. So thank you all always for coming by. And so Borges is completely blowing my mind. This is so fun and so cool. And Richardson, Mark, The Library of Babel is a completely an amazing story. And I'm doing this with Yasmin at To the Lit House, and we're having great discussion, because any discussion around Borges is great, right? Yes, Philip Friedenberg, you got it right, brother. Nice to see you, brother. And then we got Rainbow Scott Gay and Proud in the house. Thanks for coming back, for sure. I love having people in the live to have some fun, for sure. So the Garden of Forking Paths. The Garden of Forking Paths. I don't know. That might be my favorite story so far. It's so good how there's this, whole kind of really tense narrative, really tense storyline going on. And then there's this really almost metafictional, almost metaphysical thing going on. It's not really metaphysical. The Garden of Forking Paths, if somebody doesn't know, is kind of playing around in a narrative form with the physics theory called the multi-universe theory, and that means that every choice that we make, that we could have actually made the opposite choice as well, which is every choice, every choice that we make actually branches off into another, like a parallel universe, where actually, like in this universe we made that choice, but in another universe we might have made a different choice. Things like that. And that there are these multiple universes going on, and we are just in one of them, but they are all real, and they are all equally valid by the standards of the physics model or the mathematical model that the multi-universe theory is coming out of. I don't necessarily endorse that theory as truth. You know what I mean? It's a model. It's a thought experiment as well. You know what I mean? But Borges uses that to an amazing effect in the Garden of Forking Paths. I do not know anything about Borges nonfiction, but I will read anything that Borges writes at this point. I love it. I love it. And we're having so much good conversation. See, Yasmin has a little bit more, maybe a lot more, experience with Borges than I do. This is my first experience with Borges, and I don't, I had never read anything before, but everybody loves, I mean, people lose their mind when I start posting and talking about Borges on the Instagrams, right? They love Borges. Book lovers love Borges, and I'm seeing why. I'm seeing exactly why. I endorse the multiverse. If there's multiple universes and different beings all around, sure. I don't prescribe to the kind of thing that there are like infinite me's all that have done different choices, and everything is valid as everything else. That, I mean, that would really mean that no choice matters, right? Because there's all the choices are made, all the choices have been made, or something like that. So very cool. And yeah, so that's current reading. That's what I'm getting through. You know, whatever, a little a little stuff. So I figured now I go to Hall Action. This is stuff that I've gotten over the last uh week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and those from Instagram have gotten the Easter eggs and seen most of these, because I post pictures on Instagram, one a day usually, of and I do books, and sometimes I do stuff about what I'm doing on the channel. So that's where you can find Easter eggs, and it's everyone underscore who underscore reads. That's the handle. And my Instagram is actually bigger than my um, YouTube as far as followers, but it's because people don't unfollow you on Instagram. If they don't like something that you post, well, they just keep, kind of scrolling up, and they just tapping on things that they like. And if they really like it, then they're going to comment, right? So they don't, even if they don't like something, as long as it's not something that's jarring, that they're like, screw that guy, they're not going to unfollow on Instagram. So there, everybody that follows me just wants to see books in their feed, just like I do. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's the kind of thing. So there's no unfollowing going on Instagram, but on YouTube, it happens all the time. I could say something right now that people don't like, and then tomorrow, I'd lose, some subscribers over it, just because, you know, people want to just make snap judgments like that, I guess. So I got this sent to me very yeah, there's more than one model to explain that, though, Philip. The multi-universe theory is one model to explain the quantum mechanical uh level of reality as far as physics is concerned. And not not exactly writ, that's for sure, because it's a model and a theory. So we got so I got Clive Barker's The Great and Secret Show. This was a gift from an Instagrammer that I don't know, I didn't follow before it gave it to me, but it was part of a book exchange kind of deal and came very late. Let me see if I can I'm getting like glare off my computer over here for it. I don't know why. But it's just because this this cover is so cool and glossed, but there's like faces and stuff all over the whole thing. It's really cool. But I've never read any Clive Barker ever. So I assume, especially since this was the one that is given to me, that this is a good one. If not, one of the best ones. So I have no hesitation to go at that one when I'm ready for some kind of, seems like a cult horror, a cult, OCCULT. And but I'm not really sure. I don't do any spoilers. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I don't do any spoilers, so I'm not looking. This is so good. Yes. So funny, Steve. I swear. You're hilarious. Nice. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you saying so because that's that's just what I need to get into it. Ive Barker scares me to death. um it's horror. So yeah, I hope it's freaky, maybe scary, and oh my God. See? He's gonna drive me nuts tonight. I mean, hey, to each his own, you know what I'm saying? For sure. To each his own, Steve, that's for sure. I'm not here to and I don't think anybody should be, but I mean, apparently he really likes to do this. Um, to sit and like, really judge others and say that one is better than the other. You know what I mean? When what is good about an author or what is good about a story even is subjective. It is. Um, some people like writing for certain reasons, and cool, very cool. Thank you, Rainbow Sky Game Pro. I really appreciate that because I don't have any experience with Clive Barker. You know what I mean? And I mean, and complete and utter, uh, self-serving narcissism or something. So I get it. I mean, I really get it, Steve. And a lot of others do too. It's cool. Um, but I'm not really too engaged in that kind of thing as far as like who's really better or something. You know, some people like postmodern, some people like experimental stuff, and I really do sit in that place where I like experimental fiction. That's why I'm loving Borges so much because nice Becky. There's there's so much experimental with Borges. Like who's like Borges? For you are ridiculous smart. I love it. I mean, we're all better than Steve in some ways, and Steve is better than us, maybe. We'll see, right? I mean, we'll see because we're all here and we're all in the community. And man, I really loved your conversation with Yuri from Finland uh, this week, Steve. That's for sure. That was the highlight of your videos for me. Second book on the haul. I picked this up today. I found it really cheap. I went out and got a book, another book that is on my haul because I have been thinking about it and I saw it. But along with that, I saw this one marked down and it was really, really cheap. Very, very cheap. I didn't say all writing was subjective. I said all reading is subjective. That's for sure. And maybe I misspoke. Maybe I did say that, but I didn't mean that. I mean, reading is a subjective experience, and what people like and why people read and what they get into. There's a lot of readers that I don't. would never pick up what they read. You know what I mean? And even have my own thoughts about what they read, not knowing, and I mean, I still know. I know why I wouldn't read it, right? But you don't take it. It's not. I don't take enjoyment from other people. I don't want to take their enjoyment away, and I don't think you do either. I don't think anybody does really. But saying some kind of things like that you say, do take enjoyment away from some people, and there's a lot of worse things in the world than reading stuff that Steve doesn't like. So the one that I got, the one that I picked up that is very that I found very cheap was Blake Butler's 300 Million. I hear that this is a very brutal book. Blake Butler is very, very weird experimental fiction. Mark Nash is also a fan of Blake Butler. Blake Butler is a local. I appreciate that, Scott. Blake Butler is a local writer for me from Georgia, from Atlanta here. And the first book that I read by Blake Butler was There Is No Year. There Is No Year. And it's really, really weird and trippy. But I liked it. I really liked There Is No Year. Then I read Scorched Atlas, which was actually the first thing that he got kind of popular for. And I just saw this, and I didn't know what it was. So I hit Mark Nash and was like, hey, man, what do you think of this? And he said, it's brutal. It's brutal. And for real, it made him feel like sick to read it. So it's gonna be brutal. It's one maniacal killer, one tortured police detective, and the end of the American story. The 300 million are the population of the United States of America, and this is a book about a plot to kill everybody, the entire country. And I think the front is kind of a heart, but in abstract, right? Is trippy a literary genre? That's ridiculous. Now that is ridiculous, right? For sure. So I don't know when I'm going to get into that, but there's my horror for a while. You know what I mean? I don't read a lot of horror. Hey, Tom, LA Books. Thanks for coming by, for sure. For sure. Nice to see you, buddy. The Book Bob video. That was a highlight, that's for sure. So I picked up, and I don't really like this book from what I've seen so far. I thumbed through it and I looked through it. This is Nature's Nightmare, and this is a analyzing David Foster Wallace's Oblivion. There's a couple of stories in David Foster Wallace's Oblivion that we were just like, what? The mirror of, what is it called? So it's called Philosophy and the Mirror of Nature. That story is told very fractured and told very weird. So I didn't even know, like, I mean, you can follow, there's three narratives going on, and they're told to you fracturedly. So you can follow it. You know what I mean? You can follow the stories, but it's like, why is he telling it like this? What is going on? And then the story is very short. So we didn't really get anywhere with that story. And so I had ordered this book, and it's on the way. And then I had got it a few days ago. And that evening, I just thumbed through and looked at some stuff. And it seems like this guy, Greg Carlisle, he's got a certain framework that he sees that David Foster Wallace employs in his writing. And he is kind of imposing that framework on all the stories of Oblivion. It seems like there's too much of this kind of thing. He's referencing Infinite Jest and referencing Pale King all the time, which, may or may not be valid in his references there. But the kind of analysis he's doing on the stories, as far as I can tell, seem to be that he's trying to make them fit into a framework that he already knows how how many or he already knows how David Foster Wallace writes and what he's into. So I mean, our discussion group on Boxer is going so much more fun, and the analysis is better, at least for the ones, because I did go ahead and look through Soul is Not a Smithy, the one that we did this week. I went through the Soul is Not a Smithy in here to see if any of it was brought out, what I had said, and it's like he's just approaching the story from a different kind of way. And it might be, Steve. It really might be. Do you I wonder, I mean, I love literary criticism, but I don't read stuff that kind of analyzes books for me, I got that on a whim. I got it for very cheap, like $2. So I got it, and I wanted to know if, like, those that do read that kind of stuff, Steve, you probably have a lot of experience with that kind of writing, or that kind of literary criticism. Maybe Mark, you too. Maybe Recognition's Book Club, maybe you too. Do you find that certain writers come to certain authors that they're treating in their work and try to impose a framework over their stuff, especially if it's a short story collection, because the short stories are all very different, and he's not working out the same kind of thing at all, and not in the same kind of way at all in these stories. They're different, So do you find that you see that kind of stuff? Nice. Republic of Bad Taste in the house. Nice to see you, brother. For sure. Cool. I do want to. I just got the Pale King not too long ago, and I haven't read it. I've gone international. I'm worldwide, baby. That's right. Worldwide, baby. So I'm just trying to catch up. Y'all are so cool, man. It is quite a crowd tonight. Thank you all for coming by. And y'all, nice. Very cool. Let me see if I can read, trying to catch up on. Nice. Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm on a first read and really looking at it, I didn't like what I was reading. I thought that it lacked a lot. And we've gone through Oblivion with a group. We've had a lot of discussion, and we're having a lot of fun with it, and we're really getting places with it. And I think Wallace intends where we've gotten with it, for sure. But to not see that in any of a book that is analyzing the same stories, I was like, what is this? What are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, it's not cool. It's not cool at all. Very cool, Steve. Nice. Very cool, Steve. I really appreciate that. We really had a lot of fun last night, and a lot of other people did too. But I did get a thumbs down and a really kind of snide comment from from a female, and it was because I said that Doctor Strangelove was like I saw it as a guy movie. Out of all the conversation that we had in the 100 Years of Solitude, I get a kind of snappy comment because I had said Doctor Strangelove is a guy's movie. she says I'm a chick and I like Doctor Strangelove. You know what I mean? What do you mean it's not a chick movie? I'm like, I didn't say it wasn't a chick movie. I did say that it's more of a guy's movie to me. But it's weird. It's weird. Just what sets people off. So I saw this one on Bookstack, and then talked to a friend of mine about this author. So I went ahead and got it, and this is Gilbert Sorrentino, Aberration of Starlight. I was able to find a really cheap copy. You can tell by the dust jacket being not in the best shape, but I don't care. I really don't care. Yeah, Doctor Strangelove is a guy's movie. I mean, it's more of a guy movie for sure. I mean, dude, it's a war movie. There's no female actresses. They're in the war room all the time. It's satire. It's black and white. It just is what it is. I don't know why anybody would get butthurt. I definitely did say that women, females may love them for what it is, for sure. It's a brilliant movie, but it's not, themes that are associated with that are associated with femininity. It's kind of lack of emotion, except for poking fun and irony, right? Man, I love Guillermo del Toro. I saw somebody else. Oh, it was Scott. I saw you do. Uh, I saw you do your backstage book tag, right? And you did. And you said Guillermo del Toro as well. God, I love Pan's Labyrinth. That's probably my favorite. And then I got. I've watched all of Guillermo del Toro's movies, so for sure. Love. What do you think of Sorrentino? What do you think of Sorrentino, Steve? For sure, I'd love to hear your thoughts for sure. So I need to see. What book have you never heard of? Aberration of Starlight? It looks great. It really looks great. And I would love to hear any kind of feedback that anybody has on it because, I like to hear feedback. I like to hear people's take on stuff. I don't want to hear any spoilers at all or anything about it, really. Very cool. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Thank you, Scott. I take that as a compliment. Um, when it comes down to it, I got this one at a thrift store. I got this one at a thrift store. Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking. This was I first came in contact with this one on Lukash's channel. Lukash said how heartbreaking, of course, this was, and read another memoir by Joan Didion as well. And when I saw this at a thrift store for like $1, I couldn't resist because it's just I something that I've never read. I've never read any Joan Didion. So thank you, Lukash, for turning me on to this. Oh my God. And again, I closed the browser. I don't know how I keep on doing that. I don't know. I I gotta not have the mouse when it comes down to it, because having the mouse, but I want to click on people's, I want to click on people's comments so that people can see them or whatever. But when it comes down to it, if it's necessary, then I'll do it. If it's not, then I won't. And so we're at a point where it's becoming apparent that it's more trouble than it's worth. At that point, I'm not trying to have things go on that are like this, where the live has to kind of stop in order for me to just get back right. So I apologize for that, y'all. And I'll leave the mouse sitting. I'm going to, hey, Peg. Thank you very much, Peg, for coming by. So, the year of magical thinking, was just a lucky find, because I am looking to get into that. Very cool. Thank you. Yeah. Mulligan Stew. Yeah, I did hear about that one as well. Somebody had man, they said that they went to like a used bookstore and got Mulligan Stew and got Miss McIntosh, My Darling. I'm like, seriously, right now, what kind of used bookstores are around where you live? Because I need to visit. I need to visit. Yeah, thanks for coming by, Peg. Really cool to see you. And my last book on the haul is the reason why I went into the bookstore where I found Blake Butler's 300 Million there, and it is Clarice Lispector's The Besieged City. The New Directions hardback. This little kind of yuppie bookstore in Marietta, downtown Marietta, off the square. That's where the bookstore is. It's a little antique store. It says antiques on it, but it is a record store and books, and it has, a bit of just everything in there as well, but mostly records. And they have a good number of books, and what they have is cool stuff. They have cool books. So I went in there and I was just looking around, and I was actually looking for records. But then I perused the bookshelf, right? And I see this book. And what a beauty it is, right? I mean, Clarice Lispector was completely beautiful. And New Directions uses Clarice Lispector's face on almost all of the editions that they've put out so far. So I wanted to have man, I have Clarice Lispector's complete short stories as well. The paperback version has the complete, and I have that in my possession. I haven't read them all. I've read Agua Viva, The Passion According to G.H., The Hour of the Star. Those are the novelettes, or novellas that I've read, and they're freaking amazing. I have. That's right. It's mine, Scott. No, I'm just playing. We should go. For sure, we should go. I said it's mine. that store. But no, we should go. They're cool. But I have An Apple in the Dark, which is a longer work by Clarice Lispector. It's probably over 300 pages. And then I got this one. This is The Besieged City. This is, and I thought, yeah, cool. Give me a longer work by Clarice Lispector, right? And I look at it and it is 210 pages. She just did shorter works, but they are so powerful. They are so powerful. She is an amazing writer and mind blowing. So that is the reason that I went in the store. That was what I'm so happy about getting, and I will get to it this year. After we do the Borges, I'm gonna jump into, and I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna take for us to get through Borges. We're rocking it. Nice. Very cool. Thanks, Ryan. I've read a number of the stories that are in there, but it is not something that I've read like the first story, then I read the second story, then I read the third story. I've just kind of picked around. Um, I do want to read them all though. And after Yasmin and I do Borges, I'm gonna jump into Clarice Lispector as my, you know, side read, short story read that I'm going through and all that kind of stuff. Yes. Yes, I love it. Peg, I hope you love Clarice Lispector because uh the voice and what she does with language is completely mind blowing. I would love to do it, Ryan. I would love to do it for sure. I would love to read and discuss Clarice Lispector as a group. I've never done any buddy reading on or any, even two people or even group read with any Lispector. Experimental, Peg. Completely experimental. Her writing is completely off its own thing, completely unique. Um, Almost indescribable. It's like how do you describe something that somebody does that is completely different than how everybody else does it? You know what I mean? It's unique, it's different, and that's just where you gotta and that's just where you gotta that's where you gotta sit with it until you experience it, and then people that know that read it that have read it together, they can then kind of talk about what she's doing because I'm going to use the same words that I would use for something else because there's only those words to use, but it's completely different than anybody. Yeah, she plays with words. She will define words in like an agua viva. She defines isness. Something is and is in a philosophical way. You know, as far as like an aspect of something's essence. But then she just does the same thing with it and defines it in a certain type of way. Then she can play with those words, it in and of itself, and something's isness. And she does that to amazing effect. I do like how Moser describes how different uh her writing is from say normal narrative structure and normal writing, uh normal sentence structure and things like that. But but I mean it really depends on your definition of is. Most of our sentences depend on our definition of is. There's a lot of books that are great without being experimental. What about them? I mean, well, what about them? Like Anna Karenina is great without being experimental, for sure. Uh, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what you mean by what about them. I mean, they're great. There's a lot of great books, that's for sure. I love experimental fiction. I love experimental writing because I love to see the genre. I love to see, not the genre, but the form of the novel or whatever it is that Anne Carson does the same thing with poetry. I love to see the form that a writer is taking as it's their medium and them doing something with it that is unique. That's awesome. You know what I mean? So, that's just kind of something that that's just something that I like as in my writing, you know, sometimes. I don't read only experimental stuff, that's for sure, right? Um, you've probably seen more than enough on my channel and also in my halls to know that I have a very varied uh reading, uh you know, a swath of things that I really like. Hey, Steve Fuller, thanks for coming by. Nice to see you, brother. I've never read any Arno Schmidt for sure, but am down for sure. But I haven't, and even in this hall, you can see a lot of difference in in the kind of stuff that I that kind of resonates with me and that I want to read. Doing pretty good, huh? Doing pretty good, huh? Yeah, we've had the lives have just gotten more and more where people are having fun coming by, and I really am having fun with it too. I had no idea that Borges was an experimental writer. I never saw him described like that. I'm describing him like that myself because I think that what Borges does is more like Italo Calvino, totally unique and can't be really compared to others. Hey, Summer, thanks for coming by. Nice to see you. Yeah, you know, and I get, it's like my dad growing up. You know that Steve likes you by him bagging on you. So I mean, I get it, but there are people that don't get that, brother. And but I'm sure you don't care about that because if you did, you would express that like you express whatever else, like plain right on the face of it. So before I get not, yeah, I saw Steve Fuller is going through Clarice Lispector short stories right now. Um, I said just mention any that are extra good and let me jump in on it because I'll just jump in on it and do it. That's right. I do love Calvino as well. One of my favorite writers of all. Yeah, Louis L'Amour, Mark Richardson, Peg. Very cool. So I'd love to get into it more, but Republic of Bad Taste and Recognition's book club is here, Steve, if you didn't see. And they have the Clarice Lispector short story collection as well, which is a wonderful place to start with Clarice Lispector. When it comes down to it, all of her stuff is short. She was really into short writing like that. Obsession. I will. I might read it tonight. I will buy up Calvino. I'll buy up anything that I don't have by Calvino because I'll read it at some point. That's for sure. Just one of those authors that you never know what you're gonna get. You never ever know when you read Calvino. So before this live is over, before I call it, I wanted Elysian. He's Republic of Bad Taste. That's what I'm drinking. Elysian Space Dust. It's an IPA. And I wanted to just let everybody know because I said it at the very end of my of our discussion of 100 Years of Solitude. So might as well say it at the end of this video too, right? It's ridiculous. I never can do these things in a way that really works for people. But I have a copy of 100 Years of Solitude that I'm willing to send out to somebody who wants to experience the novel. So all you have to do is on our 100 Years of Solitude live discussion that was just last night, and it was really, really fun. Me and 5 other content creators on BookTube. We had a big discussion because we had all read it together. If you want to get your hands on this for free, then just go to that video and leave a comment of another Latin American author, any South American, Central American author that you love. Obviously, Baron in the Trees is an amazing book. Baron in the Trees is amazing. My favorite might be If on a Winter's Night a Traveler. Hey, Moto Hero, welcome back. I love Baron in the Trees. I love Invisible Cities, for sure. But If on a Winter's Night a Traveler might be my favorite because I love how he subverts the reader's expectations to deliver the kind of story that he wants to deliver, and it is very powerful. It's very cool. So I think that even though I've already started Against the Day, James, I'm about the same way through as you are. Are you not in the reading group? Are you in our Against the Day read through? We got a Voxer group going or something. If you want in, I mean, just hit me up and let me know. So Moto Hero, you're gonna drive me nuts. It's ridiculous. So very cool. The Blossom of Bone by Randy Connor. Very cool. Well, I'll check it out for sure. A nonfiction book about religion. I don't know. I don't know what that is, what that means. What religion is it talking about? And how is it a nonfiction book about religion? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? I don't really get it. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I like to kind of set them up. You see how I had one? I was thinking about doing something like this, and then something like that. So then I have them kind of stepped, but it's just how it goes. I like it too. I appreciate that, Steve. I appreciate that. So I don't know. In honor of the stepmother, I don't know what that is or what novella you're talking about, Moto Hero. It's so funny. Cosmic Comics is fun. Jack the Rambling Raconteur just did a little take on the Cosmic Comics, and I like it, but I do think that it's like what Jack had said, that there's definitely some Cosmic Comics that are not as strong as other stuff by Calvino. Y'all are great. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for coming by. We're at an hour, so I'm gonna call it. And any thoughts about anything, leave a comment or something like that. We'll continue the conversation. Thank you, Peg, for coming by. Thank you, Mark Richardson. Thank you, Steve Donahue. It's been fun tonight. Steve Fuller, Scott and Becky, Bookish Bryant's in the house. Yasmin from To the Lit House. Summer, Cozy Reading, Quaker Cats. Danny at Spinelli Speaks was there. Room Note, Rainbow Sky Gay and Proud. Always good to see you. And I will check out that other that book that you suggested. I'll just find it in the comments, or I pushed it up on the screen. Lukash at A Cool Reader's Thesis. Thank you so much for always good suggestions and turning us on to good books. Mark at Richardson Reads, and Deb, thank you for hanging out on Friday night. Mark, you're always good for good suggestions as well. And I hope Scott Danielson, thank you for coming by. I hope Mark and Scott at the Bookish Bryants, and I don't know if anybody else is reading along with y'all, but I hope y'all really enjoy Hyperion. And I got a lot of content on Hyperion. Scott Danielson and I did podcast style talks about just all the way through Hyperion. So if you want to kind of check that out, I'd love to get your feedback on that when you get done knitting, books, etc. Thank you very much for coming by. And the Recognitions Book Club and the Republic of Bad Taste, my boy Moto Hero, and just everybody. I'm sure there's those that I forgot, just like always. Tom LA Books. Tom LA Books is doing a service, guys. If you don't follow Tom LA Books, go ahead and check him out. He's doing a video by video of each canto of Dante's Inferno. It's awesome, and you can really deep dive into Dante like that. So I really appreciate y'all. Y'all are the coolest. Alla and Peg at the History Show. Thank you for coming by. First time I seen you, and there's the Hall Master. There's the real Hall Master. And look, Orange Squirrel Girl been lurking this whole time. Thank you. Y'all have a great night, and see you next Friday.